Today on the podcast, we have the great Matt Johnson, ultramarathon legend and fellow Squatch Fitness member. Dude, it's how do you even get into doing ultramarathons? Do you run a marathon and just go, that was some pussy shit? Like, that was way too easy.
Exactly. I'm like, have you seen that comedy skit of there's literally a comedian and he's standing up there. This guy's talking about running a half marathon. He's like, a half?
Yeah.
He's like you couldn't do like a marathon. You said like you had to pussy shit, you had to cut it in half. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's, I don't know how pain, suffering.
Did you run a marathon first though? You had one down in the books?
Yeah. So before my first 100 that I hopped into, I had ran 40 miles before that.
Damn,
dude. And then something in my mind must have been like, yeah, fucking 40. Like, why don't I rip another 60?
How'd you just like decide to run 40 miles? Is that like are you just feeling it one day? One day you go out there and you're like, dude, my fucking legs feeling nice. Let's go for it.
That's actually a great, like, I've never been asked that.
Yeah.
Like, that is a sick question. So I did the marathon. Mm-hmm. This is 2022. So I did the marathon, very first marathon ever, January of 2022. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, like I can do a little bit more. Sign up for a trail 50K, which 50K is 31 miles.
Damn, dude.
I won that.
Okay.
Like, that was my second ever race. I won it. So I think at that point, like, I was like, okay, like I've done 31. Mm-hmm. Then I had the opportunity to, I came up with this idea of me carrying the American flag. Like it's actually like the first picture on my Instagram. I have it pinned.
Yeah.
Me carrying the American flag, for this charity run. And it was from Des Moines, Iowa down to Southern Iowa where I was from. And I ran 40 miles of like interstate, like I-80 that goes all the way across the United States.
Yeah.
Ran on the side of fucking I-80 down to like I-5, ran down south. And then once I did that, I ran for charity. That kind of blew up on Instagram. Like, this is back when I had like 3,000 followers.
Yeah, so this is all just like a 2-year project. This is all
I ran my
literally
very
just
first
last 2 years.
Race 26 months ago. It was my very first ever race.
Dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's why I love it when people are like, yeah, I could never do that. And I'm like, yeah, like that. I was right there with you 2 years ago. Like 2 years ago. I mean, it's
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I am a true believer in, outside of like all the hard shit, like if you decide that you want to really do something, you can really hone in on it. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. Like, if you hone in on that, double down, cake.
Dude, I mean, I think that's definitely true. Like, if you do anything every day for a year, you will get like decent at it. You'll be functional for sure. Yeah. Because I remember this is like such a smaller scale, but like I think like 10 years ago, I was like, I'm just gonna play guitar every day this year. That was my New Year's resolution. I was like, just 2 minutes is the minimum. And I was like, all right, some days I would play 2 and some days I would play an hour, and like within a year I could play guitar. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, this is fucking sick. Yeah. Like, you can actually get, I'm not saying you're going to be world class. I'm not saying you're going to be running 100 miles. Right. But if you just kind of start and commit to doing it daily, like, you can figure it out.
Dude, it's the same thing. Like I've had, like I said this, it's the same thing as riding a bike, right? Mm-hmm. Like as we, you know, our children and, you know, our parents or our guardians buy us a bike with training wheels. And then what's the next step? You take one set of, you know, the one training wheel off. Yeah. Kind of learn how to ride it. Take the other training wheel off. Learn how to ride the bike, and the next thing you know, you're 7, 8 years old, and you're, you know, ripping a Huffy down a ramp, and smacking your face off the pavement, like
100%.
So I mean, it's literally the same thing as that. Like, it all starts, and this goes for everything in life. Like, it starts with 1 mile at a time, and you know, you do one, and you can break that down into one step at a time with anything. I mean, comedy, right? Like with what you guys do here, like, you have to start somewhere.
100%.
And you don't just hop up on the stage and next thing you know, you're Kevin Hart with his Netflix series. You know, I mean, it's all a learning process, and it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah. No, I totally feel that, man. I think it's like the process of actually getting started is kind of the hardest part. Yeah. You're just like, because it's
terrifying.
Everything seems so unattainable when you haven't done it to an extent. Like, dude, we're this is actually kind of involving you, because I was like getting into deadlifting, and I never do the straight bar. I'm terrified of the straight bar because I don't want to fuck my back up.
The way you just came around that corner, like I knew it, right when you started that sentence, I literally just watched it in my head. Like, the way you just came around that corner, and you're like, yeah, dude, like, I don't do this, and I'm like, well, do it. Yeah. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, so you literally had 300 pounds on the bar, and I'm walking around the corner. I'm like, there's no fucking way. And you're like, you could do it. And I'm like, nah, you could just pick it up. It's like, that's all it is. That's all you got to do. Just
exactly
pick it up.
I was like, dude, just pull it.
Yeah, so I just jumped up there and I yanked it up and I deadlifted 300 with no prep and no training.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, this is actually just like a matter of, which is, by the way, that was a good thing, but also probably the exercise that's easiest to just like paralyze yourself for fucking life, dude.
Like, yeah.
I mean, like our buddy Seth Rogers had like a busted back from that. It's fucked up.
Really?
Yeah, dude. That's how he got that back injury. But
I didn't know that.
I was literally like, oh, fuck, this is like so much easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And I guess it's all just like a mental cap. Because
I think that you and I were talking about that, right?
Yeah.
With how they put blankets over the weights.
Crazy.
You and I were talking about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a video where they blanketed the weights and that people couldn't see how much weight they were actually pulling. They were going up to the bar and pulling double what they thought their PR was.
Insane.
And it's because you see something and you're like, wow, that's intimidating. And then you put mental limitations. And yeah, I mean, I've done that before as well, where like I thought that I thought that I had like 295 on the bar, but for some reason I got like the 45s, 25s mixed up, and I actually had like 355 on the bar.
Wow.
And I just went up and I pulled it for 3, and then I went to put more weight on, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I just PR'd a 3-rep pull because I thought it was less weight.
It's crazy. So it's not even like, it's just like an afterthought. Right? Yeah. This is a fucking no-brainer.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's probably the process of getting to doing a 100-mile run, right? Yeah. Is you just have to convince yourself that you can, like, this is what I wanted to ask you. So you're going into the run, right? You know that you're going to run 100 miles. You obviously don't run 100 miles in any given session leading up to that, right?
Right.
Sort of like when you run a marathon for the training, most people's long run is what, 16, 20?
Yeah. So Nathan French, this is a perfect example. He's a bodybuilder, and he just did Antelope Canyon. I coached him to Antelope Canyon. The farthest mileage in a day that he ran in his prep was 30 miles. He's a 200-pound bodybuilder.
Wow.
And the most he ran in a day was 30. The most that he ran in a week was 84.
Damn.
So like that was his prep.
And then that's going into a 100-mile race.
Yeah, so that was peak week.
So you don't even at your peak week, you don't even hit the total mileage that you would do.
Typically athletes do. The big thing with Nathan was 200 pounds, and you got to be really easy. Like, I mean, he's not a runner. Like he is not. No, everyone's a runner. He's not built. You and I are kind of. We're built to run.
Yeah.
And Nathan is built to be a fucking bodybuilder. So with him, it was like I got to be a little bit more easy on him because he's just not used to this, and he has so much extra muscle mass he didn't get hurt. So I backed him off a little bit. That's 85 is probably the least that I would do for anybody. But traditionally, I like to see the 100-mile week. If you can run 100 in a week, you can run 100 in a day.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, because I have like a decent running background. Like my mom was I think at her peak was like 4th in the country at the 10K, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
So they're like, I got the genes to do it. I think when I was in high school though, I'm at like 180 right now. I think when I was racing, I was down to like 140.
Yeah.
I was trying to put muscle on. You literally can't do it.
No, you can't at all. I mean, that's like people like when I took that time off when I got hurt and I was at Squatch, like I peaked at 157 pounds. Like, so I had a fracture in the left leg and I didn't run for 3 months.
Did you get a stress fracture?
Yeah, I had 3.
Bro, that's my fucking nemesis.
3 of them, I towed the line for a 100 in September, and I had 3 fractures. I thought that my leg just hurt.
Dude, I missed my freshman cross country season because of a stress fracture. I got a fracture going into I got another one sophomore year, and then I got another one my senior year. Yeah. And I missed almost like 3 seasons because of it. Yeah. It was the fucking worst.
Dude, and once they're there, like you have to stop.
And that's what I can't stop.
I know.
That's the problem.
I know. I'm right there with you.
Because like the stress fractures should only take a few weeks to heal because they're not like a clean breakthrough. They're these teeny little things. But if you're like, I'm sure you have the same issue because there's no way that you could do ultra marathons without this.
If you run while you have one, then you're going to compensate. and it's going to put pressure somewhere else. Yeah. And that's how I ended up with 2. And then it was compensating, putting pressure somewhere else. I ended up with 3. I had 3 fractures, 2 in the tibia, 1 in the fibula.
And this was going into which race?
This was going into the Saddle to Surf, which was the LA 100 on September 30th last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Word. And you had that going into the race.
Yeah, the docs. Long story short, this is some dumbass David Goggins shit. I don't recommend this, but long story short, I sat in the alley and cried the day before the 100 because I couldn't run at all. Like I couldn't run whatsoever the day before. Like I was because of the pain.
Wow.
And we had already been to LA. I had told myself leading up to this, I'm like, man, like if I can't like run without pain by Wednesday, like we're not gonna go. And it came Wednesday and I couldn't run, and I was like, we're fucking going.
Mm-hmm.
And by the grace of God, man, like I towed the line and I made it. I led the 100. Like I led the entire thing up to mile 73. And by the time I got to 73, like the pain, like I'd never been in that type of pain in my life. And we pulled out at 73. Mm-hmm. I got x-rays on Monday, MRI on Wednesday. And on Thursday, she called me back and she's like, when did you race? And I'm like, Saturday. She's like, no, like you've had these fractures for a while. She's like, you ran on these. And I was like, shit. And she's like, you're done for at least 12 weeks.
So what does the recovery process look like for that? Do you just have to be like, because for you, like being diligent about sitting around, because I'm the same way.
Yeah. Being
diligent about doing nothing and forcing yourself to do nothing, to me, is so much harder than like working out every single day.
Yeah. So what did the medical doctors tell me, or what did I do? Because there's 2 different things.
Both.
So they put me in a boot.
Uh-huh.
They put the left leg in a boot. They told me that I needed to buy a scooter, and I needed to put like, the knee on the scooter. And I needed to be honest, no weight, absolutely no weight bearing for the next 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
None. And I got home, or actually, I didn't get home, dog. I walked out of the doctor's office with the boot, and I called my mom. My mom's a retired nurse, and I'm like, this boot is hurting my leg more than it was hurting when I walked in.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, take it off. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So like I took it off literally on the front steps of the doctor's office, took it off, walked to the truck. I called a buddy who's orthopedic specialist, who's also an ultra runner. I called my PT from back home. Like I just started making phone calls and like just digging into info on my own. And I came across a study called Wolff's Law.
Mm-hmm.
And Wolff's Law is, obviously if the bone's not compound fractured, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the more that you force the bone to heal, the quicker that it's going to heal. The body will adapt.
Okay.
So long story short, Wolff's Law is like if you just slowly add in, the volume onto the leg, like it's going to heal faster because the body is going to
So what kind of volume? Are we talking like running, or are we talking lifting?
We're talking about just walking.
Okay.
Like we're talking about like I'm not going to be non-weight bearing. Like I'm going to walk. So for about a month, I walked around with, and I didn't do any lower body exercises, but I walked around with a limping because it hurt.
Yeah.
After about a month, I was able to walk fine without any pain. And then I started incorporating some lower body exercises, and I had pain while I was lifting for about another month.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're 2 months in, and then now finally I'm able to, do some squats without any pain. And then at about the 70-day mark was when I was like, okay, like I'm gonna test a little bit of running here. And week 1 I did about 3 miles. Week 2 I did 6. Week 3, which is week 7 of the total injury. Or no, I'm sorry, it's like week 11. I did 12, and then I went 56, 80, back to 100-mile weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, granted in that time, I also I upped my protein intake. I upped my carbohydrate intake. I was eating 4,200 calories a day.
Damn.
I was taking vitamin K, B, A through Z, vitamin A through Z. And then I was also taking peptides as well through Blokes, this company that I work with. And I was taking BPC 500, which is known as like the Wolverine drug. Like it's supposed to be the all-healing peptide.
Yeah.
I was taking ipamorelin and samorelin. Samorelin known to help with bone density. And these are just once-a-day injections with an insulin needle that you put into.
So you're doing it yourself.
Yeah.
And was this like doctor prescribed, or you just doing research?
Yes. No. This is 100. Like blokes. Like I had a blood draw. I had a consult with a doctor. They ordered me the products, 100% prescribed, shipped to my house. So shout
out blokes.
Shout out, dude. Shout out blokes, bro. So they shipped all that to my house. So I was doing all of this stuff, which granted, like I was back to running in, about 70 days.
Cool.
But that just shows you the difference in, I think, everyone outside of Austin, because Austin is weird.
Yeah.
Outside of Austin, like especially coming from the Midwest, it's like, oh, I have a cold. I need to go get, antibiotic from the doctors and get on all this medicine. Mm-hmm. And, I think I'm now leaning into like, no, I need to go hit the sauna and sweat this shit out. And so I've been leaning more into these like, different remedies than just the modern medicine of, because here's the thing, if you're like, and this is diving into some crazy shit, but think of like National Geographic, right? And you see these tigers and they, trip and they bust their ankle. Like they can't put it in a boot.
Yeah.
That's the Wolf's Law, is that like the tiger is going to adapt because it has no choice. Mm-hmm. So in the evolutionary aspect, what if I have no choice? What's going to happen? I'm going to have to walk on it.
I think there's like some truth to it in that, like, even if you look at the base levels of like allergies, right?
Yeah.
Like it turns out like where people's allergies come from is like as a child, even like all the way back from like the birthing process. If you get C-sectioned out, you don't get like all the pathogens and stuff.
Yeah.
But then it's like there's more to it where even as like a little kid, if you're not constantly being exposed to pollen, then as an adult, that shit's just going to fuck you up, right?
Yeah, and this is such a huge like rabbit hole we can dive into as well. Like I saw this video the other day where it's like, oh, I can't figure out why my toddler is so sick. And then it goes to like flashing like Fruity Pebbles and fucking like, all these like processed foods. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think that there's such a thing, it's like, man, like if we can look more into like how we can naturally do this, I mean, I think of Andrew Glaze. Do you know Andrew Glaze?
No, not familiar.
Okay. So Andrew Glaze has ran at least 100 miles a week for the past 4 years.
Crazy.
4 years, has not missed a 100-mile week. And
wow.
And
how do you not get a fucking stress fracture doing that? It's crazy.
He does. I mean, he's insane. Mm-hmm. And just the fact like that he can do that and sustain that, it's saying something. Like granted, like he's saunaing, he's icing every single day. Mm-hmm. He's working a full-time job.
Crazy.
He's a firefighter. He's a chief of a firehouse. And then on top of that, he's vegan.
Crazy.
But which is fine. I have nothing against the vegan diet, but like I'm seeing some of the foods that he's eating, and he's eating these natural foods from the ground. Like I mean, I don't know.
He's not one of those vegans that crushes the Beyond Meat sausage.
Not that I see, but like, but you know what I mean? Like you see him eating like this Lebanese food and beans and rice and all of these all of these foods and natural foods. I mean, I'm sure that there's some processed shit in there. Who gives a fuck? But what I'm saying is like you see these guys that are doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not smashing Fruity Pebbles every single morning. They're not eating. Yeah. I mean, they're taking care of themselves the natural way. Mm-hmm.
No, dude, I totally get that. It's like, honestly, over the course of the last year, I think it's definitely since I stopped vaping, but over the last 12 months, I think I've gotten sick less than I have in the rest of my life. I haven't had the flu one time. I really haven't had a cold. I've had like a couple, it used to take me 2 weeks to kick a cold. I kick it in like 2 days now. Yeah. And I think a lot of it is the sauna ice adaptation.
Dude, I was literally just talking with a friend about this. I have not, knock on wood, I have not been sick since I moved to Austin 14 months ago. I have not been sick. And the only thing that's been different is obviously like we're Squatch Fitness, working out outside in the sun every single day for hours because I'm running as well. Yeah. Sauna every single day, ice every single day. And my diet, just because of moving to Austin and learning all of these things from my friends, like my diet is consistent with, a carbohydrate source of, rice, potatoes, and then steak, ground beef, chicken, eggs, like a whole foods diet. And, you know, obviously, yeah, like I supplement the shit out of myself, like with blokes, like I did a blood draw, and any type of deficiencies I had, they gave me a smart supplement stack. So like they did a blood draw and then they gave me a smart sup stack of like, this is what you're deficient in. These vitamins will help you.
Interesting.
So doing, you know, so supplementing with vitamins, vitamin C, you know, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then you don't get sick. And then, you know, you have all these people that are like, oh, I'm sick all the time. And then I'm like, well, like, number one, let's start and let's look at what you're doing.
Yeah, you might not have long COVID. You might fucking just be smashing McDonald's too much.
Yeah,
you dumb
exactly.
fuck.
How about you stop going to fucking Burger King?
I feel attacked by this part because I used to be a D1 athlete, never got sick, never been lazier and more inside till I moved to Austin, never gotten more sick than I have in the last 2 years.
We're dragging you to Squatch. We're saving you.
I need you. Please save me.
I'm going to throw your ass in a fucking sauna and you ain't coming out for an hour. You're going to sweat out. You're going to sweat out every single ounce of alcohol and drugs you've had for the past 5 years in one single sauna session.
Beautiful.
Dude, I think I'm the lone I'm one of the few degenerates at Squatch for sure, where it's like I play both sides of the ball for sure.
I feel like I am one of like the lead degenerates in Austin. It's like someone commented on my Instagram, actually I think it was this morning, and they called me white trash fit.
Sick.
And I was like, dude, I'm from the fucking cornfields in Iowa, bro. That is that's a compliment.
Highest honor.
I'm like, thank you. Like allow me to lead the degenerates. But
me and Brandon are true purebred degenerates, and we really let it show on Saturday.
Dude, I've talked about that too. Like that's a big thing that I realized that's one thing that I don't really enjoy much about Austin is like, I have friends at any time that will go and hit the gym and the sauna and all of that with me. But, like, I don't have a single friend that's like, dude, let's go grab a beer.
Right here, dude.
Like,
right here.
You know,
right here.
There's two of them right here.
But here's the thing. Find the other guy at Squatch that'll go have a beer with you outside of me.
I got a few.
A couple, right?
I've got a few.
But how many? Not as many as I guess.
It's a good point. They'll go out, but they go clock in at like 11, where it's like they like to go to bed nice and early. They're like, oh yeah, sleep is like.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm kind of there as well. Like,
okay.
Like if someone's like, hey, let's go out, I'm like, yeah, let's go out at like 6, and then I can go back home and be in bed.
If you want us to break the beers out, we can break the beers out too. We can get the new.
Shit. One of my biggest sponsors that I'm partnered with is Spirited Hive, which is a canned cocktail.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, 100%. Like I partnered with Hive. Their goal was a better for you canned cocktail.
Sick.
So it's tequila, bourbon, gin, and vodka, all naturally sweetened with honey.
So there's one called All Hands, and they were 10 or 12% alcohol. Bro, those are 7%, dog. They'll put you in a fucking blender.
Those are 7%. I can get you guys some of those for sure.
Yes, we love those.
The bourbon right there, like my max bourbon is 4, and then I'm getting shitty.
Lejean's going to smash some of those.
I know, man. I'm about to sign up for the free shipping. They can have all my info.
I had 4 of those after the Austin half, and I fell through my dining room table.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
How's the hangover? Is it like not that bad since it's like organic honey and a bunch of natural ingredients?
No, that's going to fuck you up.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So there is one thing that I've truly found, right, which is like I went out 2 nights ago. I had 2 of those electric jellyfish, and I got like a mild hangover from it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like just 2. Nice tequila is the lightest hangover in the world.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But like if you're out smashing like beer, White Claw, and especially my nemesis, peanut butter whiskey.
Oh, come on.
Dude, I love that shit.
My girlfriend's a whiskey girl too. She's from Pennsylvania, so she gets down and dirty when she wants to. And man, like here's the thing, like we'll just randomly go out on like a Sunday night. And next thing you know, it's 2:00 in the morning. And we're like, fuck, like, damn it. Like, our first date, it was supposed to, like, we were going to go look at, it was December, we are going to go look at Christmas lights.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, Zilker Park was fucking packed. We didn't go look at Christmas lights.
Okay.
Philly was playing that night. The Eagles were playing, and we're like, hey, like, you know, let's
go Birds.
You know,
go Birds.
Are you an Eagles fan too?
No, I'm not. But she's from Philly, so we end up making our way downtown to watch the game, and then it turned into 2 a.m. on 6th Street, and they're like, hey, you guys need to get the fuck out of the bar. And so I definitely take pride in that, and like being this ultra endurance, super fit athlete, but still being able to use my platform to like show people like you can still have a good time.
Yeah,
like,
you don't need to be fucking too into it. Because I think people there was something that I heard on Chris Williamson the other day, which was that one of the greatest measures for life expectancy is how many close friends you have.
Oh, yeah.
So there's all these people which get so dialed in. They're like, I need to go to bed at 9 tonight. That's the most important thing. I need to be in bed at 9. I need to wake up at 4 in the morning. I need to spend 2 hours at the gym. I can't. I got to hit all my macros and all my micros. And you're like, dude, like the people who live longest in the world are like people living on the Mediterranean and the Japanese. And they're chilling, dude. People don't know how to chill.
No,
need to. We need to focus more on chilling as a society.
Yeah. And I have I have like a non-negotiable where like if I do go out and we, you know, like that night we're out till 2 a.m. Wake up the next morning, go to like I am belligerently probably still drunk when I woke up.
Yeah.
And you know, first things first, wake up, pound a glass of water with electrolytes. I go to Hive. I go to the Hive. I go to Squatch. Sit in the sauna, literally napped in the sauna. That's how fucked I was.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Like,
I've never done that. That's impossible for me.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
That tells you how fucked I was. And napped in the sauna.
That sauna goes to 205, by the way. So you're fucking
I was still hammered. And sauna ice, went home, took a nap, woke up, ate, and then I go get my run in. And like
how far did you run?
10.
Damn, dude.
So I still I will still take care of myself.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not gonna go out and have a great time and then venture out. Which I mean, you want to go out and have a good time and lay in bed the next day. I don't give a flying fuck. Like that's 100%. Whatever you want to do that. That's great. I love you for it. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's like I'm never off track. Like I'm right back into it. Right back into like I'm back on track. Okay, let's have a good time, and then I'm right back into my training.
I have a rule, which is you can do whatever you want as long as you go to the gym the next day. Which is like really, really hard.
It is hard. It is hard.
It's fucking brutal.
But if you lay down that foundation with yourself and you're like, this is my non-negotiable, like no matter what, I'm still gonna get my shit done. Then like, you know, you wake up and you're like, okay, like, you know, if you're honest with yourself and you're disciplined, you're like, yeah, I gotta go do that.
Just hammer it, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, what is your? I was thinking about this because I'm trying to gain weight right now. And in order for me to gain weight, I have to break 3,000 calories every day or I won't do it. When you're putting that kind of mileage and you have to just be crushing calories, right? What's your input look like right now?
Oh, shoot. Okay, so let's think about this. So I'm running 100 this week.
100 miles over the course of the week.
Yep. So 7 days, 100 miles.
How does that break down to?
It's easy. So I'm breaking it down super easy this week for me anyway. So it's 10 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, and then I lift. So
Sick.
So it's 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 10.
Got it.
So
super easy.
Yeah, 15, 30, 60, 90, 10 to hit 100. And that's easier on the body than doing, you know, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 30, 20.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll run 10 in the morning. I come home. I usually eat the same thing. So I'll have a banana. I'll have almost a pound of mango.
Wow.
And I'll have 4 eggs with a cup of egg whites and 2 pieces of sourdough toast.
What does that hit? That's like 1,000 calories right there.
Yeah. So the mango's probably like 400. Banana puts you at 550. Sourdough toast puts you at 6, 7. And then the eggs plus the egg whites probably 5. So 1,200 calories right there. And
I do my shake every morning, which is a full cup of whole milk, banana, 500 calories worth of peanut butter, chia seeds, 2 scoops of protein powder, and that just hits 1,000.
I'm getting there with the peanut butter for sure. So that's my first meal of the day because usually I don't eat before that first run.
Yeah.
And
Damn,
then,
you're doing that. You're doing 10 on an empty stomach.
Yeah, usually.
Are you starving when you get back?
Yeah, kind of. Sometimes. I'll have a coffee before the run. So then I come back. I'll do some work. I'll have a BPN field bar, which is like, it's just a bar. It's literally my favorite bar in the world. That's like 280 calories.
Sick.
So let's say that puts me at, probably 1,500. Then before the gym, I'll have 2 Cliff Bars.
Nice.
This will be after my 5-mile run. I'll have 2 Cliff Bars, puts me at 500. So now we're looking at about 2,000. I'll come home. I'll have like a little snack before dinner, like as I'm showering and doing some work.
Yeah.
So it probably puts me at like 2,500. And then the dinner is the huge one, which is probably like, let's say if I do rice, like it's 4 or 5 cups of rice.
Oh my god.
I mean, dude, you're talking like like when you go to Chinese and you leave Chinese and you're like,
you're sleepy. Your blood is asleep.
Wait, uncooked or cooked?
I will have a full fucking Chinese plate of white rice.
Oh God.
That's crazy.
Along with 1 pound of meat, whatever that is. So 1 pound. So that's a 1 pound New York strip, a 1 pound of 90-10 ground beef. So I'm probably, I swear to God this is true, I'm probably having 3 pounds of food at dinner.
Gross.
Then that's
the post-run dump's got to be just the gnarliest thing ever.
It's the next morning. It's the morning before the run, because then I'm just I have a schedule. Like I wake up and it's like
mine hasn't come yet, so I literally brought wet wipes with me because I don't want to use the Creek single ply. I have
to shit like 4 times every morning, literally 4 times. Like it's right off the bat. But then before I go to bed, where the real calories come are the Kodiak.
Pancakes,
pancake mix.
Yeah.
So I'll do 3 servings of that, which is like almost 700 calories. I'll put that in a bowl.
Oh.
And then I'll put it in a bowl. I'll mix it up. I'll do a scoop of protein in that.
Gross.
I'll then do raw milk to like mix it with. So there's heavy calories in there. And then I'll do the most. I'll cook it in the microwave, and I'll do the most unholy scoop of peanut butter right in the middle. And then I'll put all natural maple syrup on top of that.
Damn.
So you're probably thinking like that's going to be about 2,000 calories right there, right before bed. Like how everyone's like, oh, don't eat 2 hours before bed.
Yeah.
No, endurance athletes like I'm getting in bed and I'm eating like as I'm like laying my head down.
I did that last
So
night.
you're probably thinking probably 5,000 a day.
Damn.
Just to maintain my body weight.
It's a lot, dude.
Yeah,
it's a lot. I mean, the pound of meat the meat
and rice
is doable, but the rice is fucking brutal.
The amount of cups, that's crazy.
And that's the thing is like, even if I wanted to enjoy a fucking beer at the end of the day, I don't have no room for it.
Yeah,
fuck no.
Well, for me, that's the easiest way to get calories. If I miss, I'll just be like, yo, I need 1,000 calories in
IPA,
3 electric jellyfish right down the pipe, dude. You physically like if you're smashing electric jellyfish on a regular basis, you'll gain weight. Oh, you'll do it.
Yeah.
Bro, those are so good.
Outside of your shake, if you want the mass gainer, is literally it's the Kodiak. Like you do the bowl of Kodiak, your whole milk, a massive scoop of peanut butter, and then real maple syrup, which is like 200 calories per like 3 tablespoons. I mean, and I'm talking like I put like a 1/4 of a cup in that bitch, and that right there. Game over.
Bro, I literally last night I got home at 12 and I was like, all right, I want a little snack. And I took those the Trader Joe's pot stickers. Took those in, got the broth going, made a little soup, a little turmeric, 2 tablespoons of butter, shitloads of salt. Dude, the butter in there. Yeah. Bro, I was literally like, all right, this will be like, it was just so much volume. I'm like, I'll have like half this now, smash the whole thing. Yeah. And then just like when you get in bed with all that food in your system, you're like, ew, dude. It feels gross.
I also have these, there's a nutrition place called Cured Nutrition. Mm-hmm. They have, they're called Serenity Gummies. So it's a micro dose of THC.
Ooh.
And I think that's why they can sell it. Is Cured Nutrition.
Yeah, they got all these. I don't know how they're legal in Austin, but they get away with them.
So these Serenity Gummies, I figured it out because you read on the thing, it's legal.
It's less than X% by volume or something.
Exactly, by volume. So one of these gummies is 1 milligram of THC.
Mm-hmm.
So I've now like got to the point where I'm like, I can take one at any time of the day and be perfectly fine. 2, like kind of, I can kind of feel it a little bit.
Yeah.
Bro, I take 3 of those things and I am fucked.
I did that the other day. They were like, the early bird CBD THCs are like 3.5 milligrams. And I was like, all right, I can totally have one in the middle of the day. And I did it while I was fucking filming for Jam in the Van last year. I was fucked up the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
The whole day.
Amanda and I, like when we first got those, we're thinking like 3 milligrams, right? Like 3 milligrams is nothing.
Yeah.
And we took 3 of those and then went down to 6th Street to like go eat. Dude, next thing you know, like when you're like really high and you just like realize that you're really high out of nowhere. We're sitting there eating a burger and I like look over at her and she like looks over at me and we just bust out laughing because it was like all of a sudden just this like random like realization of like it's like 7 p.m. and we are fucking high.
By the way, Brandon is looking at us like, you fucking pussies.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
The amount of weed that this guy can consume.
Yeah.
He's like 3 milligrams and you guys are getting the giggles at brunch.
Yeah. That's so cool though. I'm jealous. Like someone gave me a 25 milligram edible the other day. I was like, just throw it in the garbage. This is going to do nothing for me.
See, like
that's
the same
fucking
thing
insane
as alcohol.
to me.
That's the same
crazy.
thing as alcohol though, right? Is like you have like, if you never drink, like for me, like I can have like, I'll have like 3 beers and I can catch a buzz.
Yeah.
But like, I remember back when I was like 22 in the military, back home in Iowa, like I could smash a 12 pack and then like,
but bro, it's more hardcore though with the booze because like, you're right. Where there's like, if you're not drinking 3 beers, totally makes a huge difference. Yeah. And if you are getting fucked up, you can't have 12 beers. But there's nothing like weed where if you don't smoke weed, a 5 milligram edible can fuck you up. But there are people truly that can do 1,000 milligram edible and they're okay. There's no difference where it's like you can drink 200 times as much as somebody else.
Yeah, see,
there's nothing else like it.
I can't I can't function. And granted, like, I mean, I just got out of the military last year and I didn't fuck with any of that. So like I've just kind of been, messing around. But like when we were out in LA for the 100, on over like March 23rd weekend, we went to the dispensary and bought this like hybrid pre-roll.
Yeah.
Bro,
I know.
I hit that thing one time and Amanda's trying to talk to me and I'm like laying in this bed. We're in this beautiful Airbnb, like windows open, overlooking, the trees and the ocean and this and that. And I'm like laying in this bed, like on Netflix, and like she's talking to me and I couldn't even I took one hit and I couldn't even formulate words. I couldn't even formulate words. One single hit.
Bro, that's the way weed affects me too. Is like
I don't like that.
I was working Jam in the Van the other weekend, and I don't touch weed anymore at all. That's my new rule. I do not do weed. I can't do it. I will do mushrooms. Yeah. I'm on mushrooms right now. I literally
never done anything other than weed.
Literally can handle it like nothing else. The microdoses do me so good, but I have a rule. I don't smoke any weed. I'm helping out with Jam in the Van. I end up talking to Ron White backstage. He's smoking a joint. He's like, do you want a hit of the joint? When Ron White offers you a hit of the joint,
yeah, dude, the peer pressure right there.
You say yes. It's one of the greatest comedians of all time.
Over.
Say yes. Took a hit. Talked to him for about 5 minutes and then was like, I gotta go. And then just literally was like, dude, it's a drug for me where I cannot handle it. Every time I smoke it, weed goes, hey, by the way, dude, I know you only had 5 milligrams, but just a little reminder, someday you're going to die. You're probably going to hell. No one loves you. Have a great day.
Really?
And you're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
I'm trying to
see now. Like, that's wild. I
literally
haven't had
schizophrenic type symptoms.
I haven't had that
it's
yet, but
nuts.
I have it to where like I can't function. Like it's over. Okay, so Jelly Roll?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jelly Roll's personal chef is also an ultra runner, and I coach him. So Jelly Roll came to Austin in like September.
I gotta ask, what does the chef of Jelly Roll look like?
Oh, I'll try to find it.
He looks just like you and completely just fucking covered in tats.
Get the fuck out of here.
Ian, right there. There he is.
Oh, yeah, let me get his Instagram.
Ian's the go. There he is right there. First pick with Jelly Roll. Nope.
Jelly Roll looks like the personal chef for Ian.
Oh yeah. So we get to Jelly Roll and we're like row 2, right? Like Ian got us sick tickets. And we comes up, we meet him, and he's like, hey, we bought these, like Jelly bought these last, they call him Jelly. He's like, hey, Jelly bought these last night in Vegas. They don't want them here. And I like took, I was like, I don't know what the fuck these are, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
They're like vapes, like THC vapes.
Oh no.
And I'm like, dude, like hell yeah, like this is sick, you know? So I'm sitting first row and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna rip this. Dude. I don't even know where the fuck I went, but I was in like outer space. Oh. Like I was watching the show and like the lights in here, and I'm like thinking that I'm like in a whole different world.
Damn,
like
dude.
it was insane, and that was like my first time really like outside of the military experiencing that. And then like every time I do it, it always just fucks me up, and I don't know why I like once every like 2 or 3 months I'll just dabble back into it. Besides the Serenity gummies, I you know, take one of those. I like that. It like mellows me out. But yeah.
Dude, it's like the weed scares the fuck out of me. Mushrooms is always positive for me, but it's kind of scary in that like you'll always learn a lesson, and sometimes it's not a lesson that you might want to learn, you know? Where it's like I've had a lot of revelations where it's like, okay, man, like stand up. You are taking everything too seriously. You are like making yourself miserable because you're trying to come up with material all the time.
Oh, dude, it sounds like content creation.
Dude, yeah, it literally made me realize how much of a hamster on the fucking wheel I am.
Being a creator,
but sometimes you don't want these revelations. Sometimes you just need to be in grind mode.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
Yeah.
Dude, but like it is the process of just creating shit. It's fucking.
That's the thing. I've never tried mushrooms, and I think that they would like. I really am scared of them because of the whole like weed thing and how I can't handle it. But I won't say who. I have a buddy who's very big in the fitness space and told me that him and his friends went somewhere, and long story short, he took mushrooms, and he was like dabbling in giving up on the whole like Instagram influencer thing, and you know, like he was just not in a good spot. And he's like, that was the only time I ever took mushrooms. We went out to this place and took them, and just me and my buddies. And he's like, and I literally, it hit me so hard. He's like, I laid there for 4 hours on my back in tears. But he's like, what was happening was like, he's like, I was replaying every single memory that I had as an influencer / like Instagram fitness guy in my head. Yeah. And he's like, and I came out of it knowing that was the route that I needed to go.
Really?
And I'm like, holy shit, bro. I'm like, that terrifies me because I've been through a lot of like terrible shit in my life. And that's what makes me nervous is like taking mushrooms and like going back to those areas.
It doesn't make you replay, for me at least. For me, it's like,
he literally told me that he was like on his back and he saw every single memory. Over 4 hours.
He probably took a fuckload.
I've had a trip like that where I thought I was living past lives. Like
That's what he said.
Dude, I'm a pussy. I've not done a lot with my life, but I closed my eyes and I was in a forest and I had been shot in like World War I and I was dying and I could feel myself getting cold, and then I transported and I was like in ancient times. It was terrifying, bro. But I also took 4.5 grams in the mountains, which is like,
so he was out.
It's on me.
They were out like in the desert type of area, and so like when he told me that, I was like,
wait, hold on, Brandon. You transported to a past life,
dude. I was so high, I came in my pants.
You're like, hold on, go back.
Hey, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was like an insane trip. I was out of my mind. Like Erica was with me, and she was like, I just couldn't speak to you. Like you were just in your own universe. Like I was high for like 7 or 8 hours. It was like not a like it wasn't horrible, but it was not pleasant by any means.
When psychedelics are scary, it's scary.
Yeah.
For me, I get pretty like light revelations where it was like, I don't know, one of them was basically just with regard to the content thing. It really, for me, it put this emphasis on this thing where I was like, you're constantly just walking around every day like, I need to be thinking of new stuff. I need to be like making videos. I need to be doing this. And it's like, for me, it just told me like, you're living in this whole world of I need to be doing this. I need to be doing this. And it's making you completely incapable of being present. And the present is where the material comes from.
I can relate to you so much on that because I get so caught up with the Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Of like.
Well, you're really good at it too, though. We should.
Yeah, but like I get very caught up where it's like I feel like, oh, I need to make a reel today. Like I'll have days where I will, be a complete asshole to Amanda and just completely not present throughout the day because like all I can think in my head is like I can't fucking come up with this creative idea, just probably like you do with comedy, where you hit that stump and you just can't come up with anything.
Yeah.
And just like what you said, where like I just struggle and I'm like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And I've been trying to like really reel that back in on like I've already built the platform. Like if I can't come up with a reel for a day, the platform's not going to die. And just being more present in life and not so focused on like what am I, it's just so hard because Instagram has became work, and Instagram is now my work. Like that's where I go to do work. That's my job. And it's been hard. It's so hard.
Dude, it's really challenging, and it's tough in that like we don't live in this world of you can really wait and chill on a project. Yeah. Where you're like, all right, in stand up.
Instant gratification.
Bro, it used to be this world of like, I'm going to put out a special every 3 years, and that's its own beast. But instead it's like, I got to make something. You feel like you have to make something every week. Mm-hmm. And that's one, I truly am grateful to it because it did give both of us like these weird careers that we otherwise wouldn't have had access to.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like it's a beautiful thing. But on the other end, I'm like, God damn. I'm like, it does really make living life in the moment very challenging.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I always fucking joke all the time about like, oh yeah, it's so cool because like I don't have a job, like, and saying a job like I mean my whole entire adult life was with the military, and that was the job I had, and then now it's like, oh yeah, I just post on Instagram, but what I think I don't give myself enough credit for is like the fact of outside of coaching athletes, it's like, how much hours I spend formulating ideas, creating reels, posting on Instagram, being active on Instagram, all of that. Like being a creator, while I am very, very grateful for it, is very tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Mentally it fucks with you. And especially it's nice to hear that from someone who has like an actual like tough military background. Yeah. Because that does validate that, yes, this is actually a hard thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you've already done hard things. You've run 100 miles and been in the military for years. And you're like, from me, it doesn't really hit as hard. But I think from you, it's like, yes, this is actually difficult.
It's different hards, like the military side of it is.
What branch of the military were you in, by the way?
So I was within the Iowa National Guard.
Okay, cool.
But I was active duty for most of that time. So like I went to basic training, came back, where you drill like 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks in the summer, and kind of instantly really got a full-time job on Camp Dodge, which is there in Des Moines, working like active duty orders, and then I ended up being I worked at Midwest Counter Drug for a while. Where like they trained, it was like a schoolhouse that trained like DEA, U.S. Marshals, FBI. So I got to see like a bunch of like really cool like room clearing, and because the thing is with these DEA and all these guys, like they don't learn any of their tactics through the DEA or through like the police academy or anything like that. They have to go and learn all these tactics, like clearing rooms, knocking down doors, combat lifesaver. Well, lifesaver stuff. I don't know what they call it. Medical, like all of that. They learned all of that from us. So it was really cool to be able to like be in that aspect as well and like see them teaching. And then I was a recruiter for a while, and I did a bunch of different things. But I was grateful. I was lucky enough to join the Guard, which was part-time service. Yeah. I was grateful enough to have almost 6 years of active duty time being in the National Guard. Yeah. So, but it's very stressful. There's a lot of stressful stuff, and that's the thing with, obviously the military, like you see in the movies, where it's like, like I think back now, like looking at the military, and I'm like, grown men would assume or think that they were better than you because of a patch on their chest. Yeah. Because they were a higher rank than you were. And you're sitting there and you're like, bro, you've like been to jail. You have 2 DUIs. You've went through 3 marriages, and you're telling me that I'm a piece of shit because I didn't address you as sir? Like, you know, and like, that's the type of shit where like, it was just the degrading bullshit that like, you know, you go through that's like, fuck, like this is stressful. Or like, you know, it was just constantly like, you know, a lot of times just being told like, oh, like you fucking suck. And, you know, you need to put your hands behind your back when you talk to me and blah, 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 blah. Like that was the hard, you know, the stressful part of that. But there's different hards, right? And then you know, now it's like my life is, you know, to the military, you know, service person, my life is stress free.
Yeah, 100%.
But to the creator that understands me, my life is stressful. You know, so there's so many different levels to things. Like I can't imagine the stress that comes with, you know, being my accountant.
Yeah.
or you know, like I have a manager now since all this recent growth, and Lisa, like I can't imagine the stress that I put her through when I post all my dumb shit, and she's like, oh my god, like what brand is gonna drop this guy today, you know? So
no, that's dude. But the thing is, that's the truly doing what you want with it. Yeah. This is like something that I've learned over the years. I've worked with some of these brands and some of these like media companies where they just get to the point where they neuter themselves so much that they're effectively like just a vehicle for sponsorships.
Yes.
And like once you get to that point, people stop giving a fuck.
Yeah.
But like people like watching you. It's not just because you're like a great endurance athlete. It's because you're very honest about the process and you like sort of document very well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like people watch your shit and they feel like they know you, which is a cool thing.
Yes. I love that because my best friend from back home, like, you know, that one best friend that you have for your entire life. He messaged me and he's like, I was on the podcast with Jeremy Miller and he messaged me and he's like, hey, like just listen to your podcast. And like, I don't think he's ever texted me like and said that before. And he's like, dude, it was so cool because like I kind of felt like we were hanging out.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's
you know,
dope.
like, and you saying that to where like people feel like they know me, like that's what I love, and that's where I've seen, obviously, all of my success come, is where I just started to be me, and brands that don't want me to be me, fuck off.
Yeah, 100%.
And brands that, you know, but I've seen so many more brands approach me because I'm not doing the same thing that these other creators are doing that are in my space. You know, like they're posting, which is perfectly fine. Like, let me get this off the, you know, it's fine what they do and it works. Where they're like, oh, this is everything I ate in a day, or this is what I ate to run 10 miles, or let me review these shoes. You know, like everyone's doing that.
Everyone is doing type of shit.
And it works. That's cool. Like if it works for you, it works for you. Jeremy Miller does that and he has so much success. But for me, it's like, I leaned into this where it's like, okay, how can I, and I've used this term before, the polar bear on a unicycle, right? Because seeing a polar bear is so very rare. But seeing a polar bear on a unicycle is an anomaly.
Yeah.
Right? So how can I be the polar bear on a unicycle? And it's like my polar bear, my rarity, is that I am an elite endurance athlete. Like I've won marathons and ultras and hundreds.
Yeah.
And then my unicycle is, at the same time, I'm bringing the satire into the space, because there's no...
You're not Gogginsing it.
Exactly.
There's a self-awareness.
I'm making fun of everybody.
By the way, in terms of like the fitness space right now, right? We both work out at a gym called Squatch Fitness, and we see some of the very like fringe fitness trends.
Yeah.
Of everything everyone's doing that's like sort of commonplace in the fitness space, what do you look at and go, that's fucking stupid? What do you think is a dumb trend?
Okay, literally, it's the what I eat in a day. It's when I get on Instagram and I see people say everything I ate in a day as a marathon runner.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, that's cool.
Yeah.
But it does not matter. That's going like I can't mimic that and get results for me, and it's going to be different for you. And it's going to be different for you, and it's going to be different for every single person that fills that room out there, because we're all different. And they post this, and they're like pointing at their abs, and they're like, "This is everything I eat in a day to have a 6-pack."
Yeah,
and they're setting this false narrative of like, okay, so if I eat exactly what Matt Johnson eats, I can be Matt Johnson.
Yeah,
and it's just I can't stand that. I can't stand the one that I just made fun of the other day, and I have friends that are doing this same trend. And like I said, I make fun of everybody. And this week I ranked number 11 in the world on Strava, which is Strava's like this running app. And people will like, they run all these miles and they're like, I ranked this and the like, bro, if you take your watch off and throw it in the garbage, no one's going to fucking know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So why are you setting your value on an app that is tracking what you're doing through a watch?
Let me just ask you this. Do you know who number 1 in the world is on Strava right now?
Last week it was Paul Johnson.
All right, fuck. I was hoping you wouldn't know.
Last week. Well, the only reason I know that is because I saw Paul's. Paul's is running across America right now.
Yeah.
Paul's a super good dude. He's a naval officer. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's awesome. Right now he's running across America, and that's where I got this inspiration to do the Strava thing. Was Paul posted, and he's like, last month I was number 1 in the world on Strava for miles ran.
Damn.
And
that is crazy.
And I'm like, Paul, you're running across America. Like you are running 40 to 60 miles a day for 30 days.
That is fucking sick.
Of course you're number 1 in the world. You know what I mean?
That's
so like
so
the
nuts,
video that
though.
I did, it was me like running on the Montopolis Bridge, and it was like this week or last month I was ranked on Strava ... And then it came to the this like overshot of the movie, and it's like nobody cares. and it popped. It went for like 60, 70K, and like people were tagging Paul Johnson, people were tagging Andrew Glaze, which are both like, I consider both of them 2 of my friends.
Yeah.
And you know, people were like, someone commented and they're like, is this making fun of somebody?
You're like, yes, it is, but they're the boys.
Well, but that's what I said back is I go, I don't, or is this laughing at somebody or something like that? And I'm like, I don't laugh at anyone. I laugh with everyone.
Good.
And that's the thing is like I commented that and I sent it and I'm like, yeah, like I want to be the guy that like, I'm not shitting on anybody. Like, but I want to be able to, like, someone needs to be making fun of this space because it's fucking hilarious, the shit that people are doing.
Oh, bro, the gym that we work out at, we could do an hour on goofy fitness trends at Squash.
Oh my God. Or
the fears
fucking,
of like
the get ready with me.
Yeah.
Those blow my mind. Get ready with me is I'm going to go run 10 miles around Austin, Texas.
Fucking crazy.
Like I love that for you.
Yeah.
But like that's goofy shit in our industry, and I'm just, you know,
we got to poke a little
fun at it.
Poking fun at it is a good thing. It's natural. Dude, it's like, we got to just light people up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Give them the biz.
And I'm not going, you know, if you feel like I'm coming at you personally, then like that's on you. Like the thing is like when I made that reel of like the no one cares with the Strava, I saw Paul's reel, and that's how I got the inspiration. Yeah. But I'm not making fun of Paul. I have so much respect for Paul, but it's like I'm just poking fun at.
Dude, it's the Jeff Ross thing. We only roast the ones we love.
Exactly.
It's good.
Exactly.
By the way, we are out of time completely because we gotta get the next one in. But dude, we just banged out an hour.
I don't even know what we just talked about.
We did it.
We started with 100 miles. We ended up on drugs and alcohol and making fun of people.
We ran 100 miles in this podcast.
We did.
We
truly did. We ran all over the place. Well, dude, tell them where to find you. Yeah. Anything you want to plug, talk about, and then by the way, we didn't even get to this, but congrats on the win on the 100-miler.
Yes, first 100-mile win.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah, that was the number one thing I was supposed to talk about.
Yeah, so last week on my 29th birthday, I had my first 100-mile win, 19 hours, 30 minutes.
Fucking shit.
Average under 12-hour pace.
Brandon's coming for you, though.
Yeah, you're fucked, dude. You're in so much trouble.
Dude, I'm setting a target on my back. So, no, I appreciate you guys having me. You know, biggest thing I have coming up is the run across Texas.
Yeah.
So in October 1st, I'm running across the entire state of Texas, 850 miles. Wow. Solo dolo, just
Sick.
me.
How long is that going to take?
Hopefully we're going to do 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So we're hoping for 50 miles a day.
Sick.
So the biggest thing there is we're raising money for Valor Fit, which is a 501c nonprofit charity organization that gets veterans into the fitness space. So we're trying to raise money for them. That's my biggest thing coming up. You can find me on YouTube or Instagram. Instagram's at Matt Johnson with 2 underscores. YouTube, I don't understand YouTube yet, and I'm paying a guy to do my YouTube stuff, so I don't understand.
Well, let me know anything that you figure out about the YouTube from him. Let's get it